So obviously you know this by now. If you're watching this, you know about this whole transgendered fighter, boxer in the Olympics, quote unquote, transgendered. As it turns out now, they're trying to say that this is not a transgendered fighter. I don't know what to think about this. It's like throwing a bunch of shit at the wall and you just don't know if it's what's true and what's not. This is CBC News. If you're aware of CBC, they're the Canadian Broadcast Corporation. So I'm from Canada. And this is kind of our dumpster fire of a news organization up here. Let's see what they have to say about this. So they say misinformation persists online after super brief Olympic boxing bout. The online reaction was swift, relentless, and ill-informed. Within hours of her victory on Thursday, at least they're using the correct pronouns for themselves, over Italy's Angela Carini, unfounded claims that Algerian boxer, Olympic boxer Imane Khelif is actually a man or biological male swirled online, amplified by the likes of Elon Musk, J.K. Rowling, Logan Paul, and Caitlyn Jenner. It all started when the fight stopped, after just 46 seconds with a punch to Carini's nose. The extremely brief bout, plus Carini's refusal to shake hands with her fellow welterweight afterward, fueled speculation they had not been fairly matched. It was the purest form of evil, wrote Logan Paul, a noted and notorious influencer, perhaps best known for tasting dead animals, tasting, and being temporarily suspended by YouTube after posting video in a forest in Japan near what seemed to be a dead body. On X, who seemed to think the Olympics had just showcased a man beating up a woman. Paul has since deleted the post. So here's what he had to say anyway. It says, this is the purest form of evil unfolding right before your eyes. A man was allowed to beat up a woman on a global stage, crushing her life's dream while fighting for her deceased father. This delusion must end. Rowling called Khelif a male who was enjoying the distress of a woman he just punched in the head. Carini later apologized for snubbing Khelif, saying she was angry because her Olympics had just gone up in smoke. She said the resulting controversy has made her sad. I don't have anything against Khelif, actually. If I were to meet her again, I would embrace her, she said. Similar allegations have been leveled at another boxer, Taiwan's Lin Yuting. Neither Khelif nor Lin identify as transgender or as having been born with a male body. So they don't identify. I love how these words you're using. Okay, it's very easy to check. There's like a very simple place that you just look to see gender. But I don't know. We used to do that. We still do it with fucking animals, but all right. According to a fact check from GLAAD, there is no indication Khelif has ever identified as transgender or intersex. Okay. What's this have to do with anything? Just throwing shit against the wall, I guess. All right. I don't tell anyone I identify as a male either. I just assume they know. Nor is there any evidence to support the online speculation that Khelif has experienced differences in sex development, or DSD, a group of rare conditions that can cause women to have XY chromosomes and blood testosterone levels in the male range. The allegations against Khelif were frequently framed as a call to protect the integrity of women's sports and, by extension, the women themselves. But that's an inauthentic argument, according to Michelle Donnelly, an associate producer or professor of sport management and a gender issue researcher at Brock University. She sees it as an excuse to push a transphobic agenda. Why is it that women are championing this all the time? You know, shouldn't you be championing other women? I just don't understand. But all right. It's so obviously not about women's sport at all. It's about really forwarding a exclusionary, transphobic agenda, she said. If people were truly interested in fairness in women's sport, they would be advocating for more media coverage, for more resources invested in women's sport, more opportunities. That is such a horseshit comment right there. Let's unpack that horseshit. So advocating for more media coverage of something people don't care to watch, more resources invested in women's sport, more opportunities. People don't care to watch. You can't just force shit down people's throat and be like, hey, watch this because we want you to watch it. It's for equality. What the fuck are you talking about? People don't care about that shit. They'll act like they care about it and in rooms full of people and shit. But behind closed doors, they're not turning their TV on to say, oh, you're going to watch some, subpar athletes. No offense to women. You want to watch the top. You want to watch the top tier of anything if you're really a sports fan. Women just aren't really sports fans. So women watching women in sports It's not really happening that much. So you can say all you want about support and providing opportunities and doing more media coverage and stuff, but it's all tied to dollars and cents. If people are spending money, people want it, they will spend the money to get it. And that will drive the market for that thing. You can't just force it. We've talked about this on the podcast before about the WNBA and such. So that's such a horseshit comment, but okay, good on you, Michelle Donnelly, you idiot. Despite their lack of evidence, and yes, we're getting to the part about the Boxing Association, Khelif's critics are still talking about this and are likely to continue, says Timothy Caulfield, a law professor at the University of Alberta who studies misinformation. It has taken root within an echo chamber that feels very strongly about this, and it's going to become one of those situations where facts don't matter anymore, he said. Like I said, it's very easy to figure this out. What's between the legs? Okay. That appears to be true of Rowling, for example, who doubled down on her earlier remarks on Friday, posting on X, "We saw a male punching a female." Caulfield says people like Rowling can spread misinformation easily because of their large audience. These are individuals with big audiences and very particular audiences, he said. Yeah, people just like common sense, I think. They want to hear opinions they want to hear, and we know when that happens, and research tells us this, misinformation is more likely to not only be believed, but to take off. Testosterone levels. Okay, so some of the supposed evidence against Khelif lacks context or nuance. Both she and Lynn failed gender eligibility testing under the International Boxing Association in March of 2023. Many have speculated this was due to high testosterone levels, even though the testing did not include testosterone. Okay, so tell us what it is then. Why did they fail? You're just going to say, oh, they failed. Whoa. And then not fill in the blanks with context. That's what they do with this kind of shit. They just keep throwing a bunch of shit against the wall. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's saying, hey, look, we had them pull their pants down. We looked, we saw, and we thought, hey, this is probably a male. Or we didn't see that, and it's probably not a male. It's retarded. Okay, so the IBF said Khelif was proven to have XY chromosomes, which typically indicates an individual is male. However, certain conditions can allow a woman to present XY chromosomes. Some sports organizations limit the levels of testosterone allowed in athletes competing in women's categories, while others ban anyone who is assigned male sex at birth and has passed puberty. At a news conference Friday, IOC spokesman Mark Adams called the debate over testosterone levels in women's sport a minefield. As with all minefields, we want a simple explanation, he said. Everyone wants a black and white explanation of how we can determine this. That explanation does not exist, neither in the scientific community nor anywhere else. What's really weird is we did this for years and years and years and years until the most recent history. We had zero problems with this, keeping women competing against women and men competing against men. I don't know where it all got conflated somehow, but we live in this topsy-turvy world now of, identity. So that's the problem. I read this article earlier and I thought, wow, I learned nothing. All they did was throw a bunch more shit against the wall and they're just hoping that you'll just accept it. So it seems to be still out there, up in the air as far as whether this boxer is a female or a male. Looks like a male. It failed tests previously. I don't know. Sometimes when it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck.